Welcome to Mushroom Wonderland.
What's going on, everybody? This is Aaron Hilliard from Mushroom Wonderland, and today I'm going for a mountain bike ride in the woods, and I've seen a couple of cool mushrooms I want to show you really quick. So let me flip the camera and show you some of these neat spring mushrooms. All right, check this out. Growing on the end of this red alder log. Red alder, one of our really common hardwoods around here, and a lot of different mushrooms like to grow on the decaying wood. And I'm going to pick one of these from the base. Oh, kind of made the other one fall. So look at that. That's a big mushroom, big hardy mushroom, and it actually has a pink spore print. I don't know if you can see that pink color to the gills, and also those gills are serrated. You see that? Kind of reminiscent of like a steak knife or something. And so this one, dark in the center of the disc, fading towards the outside of the margin. This one's really mature. Both of these are really mature, put off a lot of spores. So if you pinch the stem off and laid this cap down on a piece of paper, it would leave a really big pink spore print. And this one was grown directly out of the wood, so it's a saprobe or saprotrophic. That means it just eats decaying matter. That's how it gets its energy, rather than mycorrhizal, like growing in association with trees. So this one's called the deer shield mushroom, or Pluteus cervinus. Pluteus exilis and Pluteus cervinus both occur around here in the Pacific Northwest, and they're hard to tell the difference between them just visually. But I think cervinus is our more common species, and so I'll just call it that. You know, if you say Pluteus CF cervinus, that means confer with, or like, you know, somewhere around there, compare with. So here's your Pluteus, and it's kind of lumpy looking on the cap like that. And these are totally edible. I've cooked them up and eaten them before and was kind of disappointed that it tasted a lot like raw potatoes. So not like yummy hash browns or French fries, but like a sack of dirty raw cold potatoes, even when it was cooked. So I don't know. I've heard other people think that they were okay. There's other people who famously will kick these whenever they see them because they think they're just so despicable. I can't recall exactly who that was, but a famous mycologist was known for kicking Pluteus every time he saw them. And so anyways, an edible spring mushroom, a big hardy one that you could eat this time of year, but you know, not really desired. So, and then right over here, I saw another alder log with a couple things fruiting on it. So let me flip the camera again. And here is this alder log, and it's laying down. And I could tell by the way that these mushrooms are fruiting, that they have their pore surface down and the cap on top, that this was standing up just somewhat recently, and it just fell over because of the direction these are aimed. And so these ones, you know, look a lot like a turkey tail, like the cartoon turkey tail. But these ones have a bit more algae growth on them. It's hard to say. I would definitely say they're in the genus Trametes. They're a relative of turkey tails. Could be one of the close sister species, but you know, I've also seen this morphology and even algae growth, and then they were sequenced and came back as Trametes versicolor, as the real turkey tail. So it could be a turkey tail. Don't worry, none of them are toxic. So if you were to pick these and make a tea like people do for turkey tail, it's not going to hurt you. And you can see there's spores on top of here. That's that white frostiness. So, you know, concentric rings of different color. You know, some of these down here got some nice dark color on them. See that? Definitely. Oh, there's a big old spider on there, but not that big. I just kind of panicked for a second. Excuse me. But there you go. Concentric rings of color, kind of like a cartoon turkey tail. And if we look really close, there's tiny little holes here. Let's see. Ansterium, or the false turkey tail, is not going to have this porous surface underneath. It'll be smooth on top. So there you go. In the genus Trametes, you could probably make a tea out of this. Not going to hurt you, and you're going to get some forest benefits. You know what I mean? I don't know about you, but I think putting these kind of natural things are covered in pollen and spores and all this natural goodness, you know, this is where we get our immunity and our health from. And then right over here on the end of the same log is another kind of bracket mushroom. There we go. Okay, so this one looks more like, nope, it's the same thing. So this is just fruiting all over the same log. So just kind of a Trametes. As I look back in here, I'm seeing something else. Look at this. Very nice. So these guys are pleurotus, oyster mushrooms, growing on this dead alder log. So the logs is where you should be looking this time of year. And these smell a little bit like anise seed or licorice kind of. And this is a nice little fruiting of them. And pleurotus, you know, the oyster mushroom, these actually have a little bit of tan to them. And there was a big flush right there that's rotten and gone. But these ones would definitely be edible. The worms and flies also love them, so they get full of larvae really quick. But anywhere you can find downed alder, there's a good chance you can find pleurotus pulmonarius or Pleurotus CF pulmonarius, like these ones, the oyster mushroom, the white oyster mushroom. And yeah, decent edible, and you can get some protein because there's no doubt a lot of bugs in there. But these ones are actually young and pretty pristine. If you just rinsed them off really quick and threw them into a hot pan, you know, just cook them before you know what's going on in there. So here you go, fruiting off of alder, and really common, easy to find these this time of year. So that's just like a quick little walk in this gorgeous meadow. There's mushrooms starting to pop up everywhere. We've recently been getting some rain, which is awesome. We were like having a terrible dry spell, but now everything is wet. The temperature is going to warm up, and going into June, we're going to have a whole bunch of cool mushrooms out. So, you know, thanks for joining me on this tiny little episode. You could go over to Patreon. I'm trying to upload at least a couple times a week, just mushroom report updates and just random stuff. So there's a bonus, there's an incentive to go over there, help support me on Patreon. So just Mushroom Wonderland on Patreon, and then Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. You can follow me everywhere there. Go to mushroomwonderland.com for some merch or to join one of the foraging tours in the fall. And I'll be talking to all kinds of mushroom festivals throughout the autumn all over the country. So it's going to be an exciting year. It's going to be a bumper crop mushroom year later this summer and through the fall. I can feel it. 2025 just has a good ring to it. I think the mushrooms are coming. So anyways, I'm going to go ride these trails on my bike, keep my eyes out for some more mushrooms. And until the next episode, much love. Peace out.